Hello and welcome to Comics from the Future for April 21st of 2023. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And we're with Infinity Flux Comics. Comics from the Future is our full show where we go over all the comics and variants available for pre-order. Not all, but
a lot.
A lot. I mean, if you go over every single one of them, you're going to be here for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, if you want to follow along with us, we have a great website you can go to, infinityflux.net, where you can also sign up if you care to subscribe to comics. You can subscribe to entire series. You can just get whatever cover you want. In fact, you get 10% off anything you pre-order through our website. So again, that's infinityflux.net. All right, so a pretty decent week. Let's go ahead and head into it, starting with our featured comics.
Yeah, DC, I feel like, is coming and swinging this week. We've had, I think last week, they didn't have much, but Marvel had a lot. This is a big DC week. And kicking it off is what essentially is now their flagship title, at least team book. Usually it's Justice League, but no, Titans is the new big team in the DC universe. The Justice League has disbanded after Dark Crisis, and it is time for the young heroes who have now grown up quite a bit to take that spot. I am very excited about this. I feel like this is the thing I've talked to people for years of, like, you know, Nightwing, Donna Troy, Wally West, Starfire, Cyborg, Raven, Beast Boy. They've all been around. You've seen more of their life growing up than you have Clark and Bruce and all of them.
And at best, they've been on equal footing with the Justice League occasionally.
Right.
But this is the first time Justice League's like, we're out of your way.
Yeah.
You guys are leading, and Nightwing, you're leading the team.
Yeah.
You are basically the new Justice
League.
League.
They've earned this spot. So this is by Tom Taylor. The art is done by NICOLA Scott. And I like it. Actually sounds like it's going to be diving into that. Like, they know that they're that level now. They know they're basically the new Justice League. And what comes with that? What kind of pressure is on this team now, who for a while could, you know, call in the Justice League for backup or whatever. Now they are the front lines for the superhero community. And the villains know that as well. So some new villains, some old villains are going to be kind of testing the waters. Let's see, can we break the Titans? We know how we fare against the Justice League, but what about the Titans? How are they going to step up for
how
this?
they're going to handle it? I like in the background, Raven's just like, come at us.
Yeah. I mean, these are now some of the strongest characters in the DC universe now that, you know, Beast Boy's got his powers under control. Raven always has, you know, some hardships with her powers, but she's one of the most powerful characters of the DC universe. So I think this is a book that, if you are a DC fan, you're going to want to pick this one up. This is going to be kind of leading the way for the DC universe to come. So this is our A cover. We also have a Jim Lee variant showing the full team here. Very cool. We have a Jen Bartel. I feel like maybe she's going to be doing like the casual Titans, the old Navy model versions of the Titans, starting with Nightwing here.
And Bitewing is there too.
I like that continuity. Maybe he's going to be hanging around the Titans Tower. And we also have a blank cover. If you see any of the artists at conventions, get them to draw you a little Bitewing.
All right, from Marvel, it is Fury. This is going to be like a double-sized one-shot. A lot of these books, that's some of why we do our show, is to inform you. It was when I read about this, I was like, is this ongoing? Is this a miniseries?
Yeah.
No, it is just a big one-shot. So this is by Al Ewing with art by Adam Kubert. And so it sort of asked the question, who is S.C.O.R.P.I.O? Sounds definitely like some late 60s villain that Nick Fury would be going up against. But it's written out like an acronym, you know, S.C. Scorpio.
Spy, control, something.
Right. So I'm betting who is Scorpio. I bet it's an organization, but who knows? It could be an organization and a person. It could be a person who turns into an organization, like multiple man style. Who knows? Anyhow, this mystery is going to take more than one Nick Fury to unravel it. So I don't know if it's going to be sort of the classic Nick Fury who you see in the art back there,
Yep.
teaming up with the newer Nick Fury, or they also say this mystery is going to span back to Nick Fury's father. So maybe
I
it
wonder
will
if they're
be
speaking of, because I don't think a lot of people know Nick Fury that looks like Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury Jr. in the
right.
comics, and his father is the
Okay,
classic Nick Fury. So is it going to be 3 generations, 2 generations?
that's true.
Interesting.
Yep. And of course, the classic Nick Fury got turned sort of into the Watcher, and you can see that version in the bottom there. It's hard to
Yeah.
see, but
I love all the different versions, kind of the classic Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., the
yep.
military Howling Commandos version, and the
And then the
Watcher.
Watcher version. So that is what we know about Fury #1. It is a one shot. So this is the sort of thing, if you want it, definitely pre-order it.
Yeah.
Shops don't know how many people are going to want this or not. So every time you order, not only are you guaranteed to get one, but it's sort of like you're voting and letting us shops know, oh, people are interested in this.
Yeah.
I should get much more for people who don't watch comics from the future and just show up every week hoping that we ordered enough for everyone. So regular cover, here is the Del Mundo variant, and here is the SAMNEE variant.
Very cool. Very classic. Next up is Arcade Kings. This is a new one from Image Comics, and a little emblem in the corner is Skybound. So this is under that umbrella. Also makes sense because they do say for fans of Invincible and Murder Falcon, which I believe both of those
Both
were
are
also
Skybound.
Skybound under Robert Kirkman's heading. This is the art and writing is done by Dylan Burnett. It's a 5-issue miniseries, and it sounds kind of like a kind of cool pop culture future where you have this place called Infinity City, and there's a new player in town in the arcade, in the Roundhouse Arcade. His name is I believe it's Joe. Yeah, Joe, who I believe you see here, has become like, hangs out in the arcade. Nobody can beat him until someone from his past challenges him, named Joystick. And what does this mean for our main character's past, and who he is and all of that. I want to see what kind of games they play. I like this kind of like, in the future, everyone's just like loves the arcade as the world should be. So yeah, exciting new series. This is our A cover.
I like he's got a mask on. He kind of looks like a cross between a luchador and a Novacore.
He does, yeah, that star. Then we have the Lewis variant, and then there's also a blank variant.
And anything about arcades, I have to compare to my favorite arcade movie, The King of Kong. You ever see that?
Oh yeah,
That
the documentary.
If you haven't seen that, it is great.
I was about to say The Wizard.
No, King of Kong I like even more than that. A true battle of a nice guy and a force of evil. Billy Mitchell. Okay, so next from DC, Cyborg is getting a 6-issue miniseries. This is written by Morgan Hampton with art by Tom Rainey. So a family emergency brings Cyborg back to Detroit, where he is from. And everyone there, though, knew him before he was Cyborg. So they know Victor Stone.
He's the local boy.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's going to be interesting for him to feel that way again after being a hero and away from his family and friends for this long. But of course, you can't go there without there being some sort of drama, some sort of thing that's going to draw out his super heroic side. So no real hints as to what exactly it's going to be. But I think this more has to do with Cyborg's past and family and friends. So here's the main cover to that. Here is the Tom Rainey variant. So he's going to be your interior artist on this. And here is the Corona variant that I started talking about on our other show and realized I was looking at these notes. So anyhow, here's the Corona variant.
I like his new look. It's a mix of classic Cyborg, but with a little bit of his like football past, like his kind of his Letterman jacket and that kind of thing. Very cool. Next up is a new miniseries. It's going to be 4 issues. This is Daredevil and Echo. This is going to be by B. Earl and Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas. He's worked on a couple of comics at this point. And your cover here and the interior art is done by Phil Noto. So this is in kind of current continuity For the most part, it's probably a little bit before the current Daredevil stuff, but it does talk about Echo has just previously had the Phoenix Force power that was going on during Avengers. But in New York, Demogoblin, one of the not as well known goblins, but maybe one of the scariest, is kidnapping children to try and awaken an ancient evil that's below Hell's Kitchen. So I don't know what he's doing with them, but you know it's not good. So Echo and Daredevil are going to team up to stop him. You get a great cover of Demogoblin here in a second. But yep, this is so if you like the cover art, that is what your interior is going to look like. Here is the CASELLI Marvel Icon variant, and then the Declan Shalvey variant there with Demogoblin about to eat Echo.
All right, so a new indie series from IDW is called Cat Fight. So get this. They say this is John Wick meets Kill Bill meets cats. I maybe they mean the musical or maybe they just mean cats. But you can see, the people in this world are sort of cat people, literally, even though there appears to be just regular cats in this world. So this is a crime story. It has to do with yes, a cat burglar who has, just sort of that cat burglar style that cat burglars are known for. But a criminal organization sort of blackmails them into joining. And this is going to send them off on a mission they would have never taken normally, like one where they're going to be globe-trotting around the world, doing something really far-fetched and crazy. So that is what Catfight, the new IDW series, is about. It's written by Andrew Wheeler with art by Ilias KYRIAZIS. Hopefully I got that name right.
Sure, you nailed it.
Sure. And and our interior artist, KYRIAZIS, is the person who did the cover here too. That's always my favorite. It's
Yeah.
like right away we get
You get a good example of what you're going to be getting.
And so here is the BEEM variant for Catfight #1.
And next up is another new DC book. This is the Vigil #1. This one also is going to be a 6-issue miniseries. And this is, we saw these characters first during Dark Crisis in one of the one-shots. They kind of ran into Nightwing and Gotham. They were, it looked like they got to a scene of a crime before Nightwing did and kind of cleared people out. But they still don't necessarily strike you as heroes. Definitely vigilante style. Vigilante, probably. But this series is going to explore more about who they are. Are they good? Are they bad? What is their motivation? We learned a bit more about their powers. We got to see a hint of them during that one shot, but this is going to kind of open up a new. They're kind of doing a new corner of the DC universe with like the Vigil, City Boy, Spirit World, all of those expanding into that.
I believe the Vigil showed up in Detective Comics lately.
Okay.
And they pretty much were just like, we might be like, we're going to do things our way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seemed like they were going to, rub up against the current Bat Family characters.
Yeah, Batman may not like how they deal with things. But in this, they are targeting illegal technology being shipped by pirates. So I think it sounds really cool. That's kind of what they were doing with Nightwing. So if you want to discover some new characters, jump on board with them. I think this is going to be great. This is going to be by Ram V, and the art is by Latit Kumar Sharma. So this is our A cover by Sharma. And we have the NIMIT MALAVIA variant.
A lot going on. A lot of energy on this cover.
And then we have the Popmon AAPI Heritage Month variant.
All right, one of the greatest X-Men characters ever, Storm, is getting her own 5-issue miniseries. This is set back when she was rocking the mohawk and leading the X-Men.
Yep.
So Storm, super powerful Omega level character, and you have to wonder who could challenge her. Well, apparently this new elemental villain appears near the X-Mansion, and he is going to push her to the limits of her power. So that's what this new miniseries is about. I think just the cover The fact that it is a storm-centric
Yeah.
story is all anyone needs to know. Um, it is being written by Ann Nocenti with art by Sid Koshian. So here is our Art Germ variant. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's very cool.
She's kind of storm voguing. Here is the CASELLI Marvel Icons variant. Yeah, these icon variants are just getting better.
Yeah.
I like this batch of them this week. And then lastly, here is the Klein Stormbreakers variant.
Uh,
Plenty of storm on this
oh
cover.
man, look at all the storms.
Yep, very, very obvious as to what this comic is. But I will say, this is the Guardians team I grew up with.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the old Vance Astro and all of them. Yondu back when he was on Guardians.
Yep.
Sporting his own mohawk. See that's the connection. It's the mohawk connection.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
it's this storm-inspired Mohawk variant.
All right, so on to our next segment. It is other number ones. These are not the ones we chose to feature, but maybe you'll like these even more.
One that I'm excited about because I am a big Magnolaverse fan, and there is a new 4-issue miniseries coming out called Miss Truesdale and the Fall of Hyperborea. So that does not just scream Magnolaverse. I don't know what does. So Miss Truesdale is one of the last followers of an ancient order, and one day she receives a vision that kind of connects her with this ancient Hyperborean gladiator, and she apparently can kind of take control of it, and she's going to use that knowledge to try and change the future. So, if you are a fan of all the Magnolaverse stuff, you know exactly what the mention of Hyperborea and all of that means. So, this sounds really good. This is our A cover here, and of course, then a Magnola variant.
I mean, does it get more Magnola
I
than this
know.
cover? Other than there's no Hellboy on it, but he might as well be on it.
Yeah, throw a couple more creepy puppets in there, and you got yourself a day.
Okay, so here's another number one that's interesting. So I don't know how y'all feel about the multiverse. Have you heard of this thing? So, everything's multiverse these days.
Yeah.
I get it. But here's a different take on it. It is Elvira in Monsterland. So in this series, Dracula is making a multi-movie verse team out of the scariest and best monsters from different movies. So it's like all the different versions of Dracula throughout the movies, all the different Wolfmen or whatever. Well, he's going to pick out the ones he likes the best, maybe just the vampires by the look of it.
Yeah.
And he's going to put together a team. I'm a big movie fan. I mean, from classic movies all the way up. I'm also a big horror fan. So this one, they really got me on this one.
Yeah.
And it'll be up to Elvira to try to stop them.
I wonder if they included Nicolas Cage on that cover from his recent stint as Dracula.
Yep, from Renfield. Okay, so here is the Royal variant. And then here is the photo variant for that one. I'm sure there's many other variants.
There was a lot of variants, but I included a few of them here as representative.
Yes, you can see them all at our website, infinityflux.net, where you can order to your heart's content all of the many, many variants that Dynamite's put out.
Next up, this is the first time that IDW is going back to one of their Saturday Morning Adventures books. This is TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures Continued #1. So if you liked that previous one, well, you've got more of it coming, but this time it's going to be a multi-part story. So before, each issue is kind of like an episode of the show. This is going to be a full story over all the issues of it. So this is going to be by Eric Burnham, and the art is by Tim Laddie, who did this cover here. Sounds really cool. So Rat King, who of course has the ability to control rodents, gets hit by a new chemical in the sewer and finds that he can no longer control rats, but he can start controlling reptiles. Doesn't seem like a good thing for the Ninja Turtles as he becomes the Turtle King. So, just classic fun Ninja Turtles action here. This is our main cover for that.
I have to say, I like this cover. It feels so much like the cartoon with a splash of Nickelodeon in
It's a
there.
little like VHS box
Yeah.
art.
And the perspective where they got Shredder in there, they're like, there's so many characters. Where could we get Shredder? He's in the reflection of Leonardo's
Yeah,
sword.
it's really
I
cool.
think that's awesome.
This is our B cover and our C cover.
Okay, on to our next segment. It is cool covers and other comics. This is where we're going to go over the variant covers that we think are really awesome. And also, issue number 2s and 3s, a series that just began, where maybe you want a reminder that you like that issue 1 and you want to sign up for the series continuing on. So let's begin with Warlock Rebirth number 2. And what a cover. If you read that issue number 1, I thought the issue number 1 was
It's pretty
really good.
indicative of what happens.
Yes, it is. So this is the series by the two Rons. Ron Mars is our writer. Ron Lim is our artist. And in the first issue, the new character of Eve Warlock kind of came out of nowhere. Well, her cocoon came out of nowhere. She came out of the cocoon. And man, did she put the beat down on Adam and just snatch that soul stone away from him. Left him in dire straits. Well, this issue, Gamora and Pip are going to go for some help. They're running right to Doctor Strange. They must already sense another Infinity Gauntlet-like event.
Stop it before it gets too far.
They get Silver Surfer on the cell phone as they're heading to Doctor Strange. So anyway, here's our main cover. Here is the Noto variant. And here is the Wernick Stormbreakers variant.
It's interesting where this is that run of Guardians that had Kitty Pryde and Venom on it that they chose to homage.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
And we saw another Guardians team on the other Stormbreakers variant. So I
Yeah.
think because of the Guardians movie coming
They're
out.
showing all the different incarnations.
Yeah. See, I mean, we read about this stuff nonstop, and even we have to piece this
Yeah.
together sometimes. There's so much info in comics.
Okay, next up is Hallows Eve number 3. I loved issue 2 of Hallows Eve. That was a lot of fun. But this one, all they say about it is Eve versus Spider-Man. Not a whole lot of information, but I feel like this is a thing we knew was coming. So really cool looking issue. This is our A cover for that. Then we also have our SWABI variant. And of course, a Scotty Young variant.
I hope she has a J. Jonah Jameson mask. You know?
She just puts it on and starts yelling at Spider-Man.
Correct. Yeah, and that's how she at least gets away or something.
I want to see how outrageous the mask is. The last one she had a cop mask, and she's had a supermodel mask. I want to see something really like a specific person mask.
They'll probably do Richard Nixon at some point.
Of course.
You know, or William Shatner mask that also makes you sort of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is Extreme Venomverse number 2. That is available for order. This is a series where they're doing like multiple stories by multiple creative teams in each issue about a different Venom from the multiverse. This has 3 new stories, 3 new Venoms. The first one is a story about a black cat Venom, who we see on the cover there. I got to check that out. I collect and read all things Black Cat. Then there's one about they're going back to Marvel 1602.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's been a
that's
while.
the Venom in the background there.
He's like a weird jester.
They say he may be one of the creepiest Venoms of the multiverse.
I could believe it.
And then lastly, it's another Venom called the Life Model Venom, who is supposed to be sort of the foil for Cyborg Spider-Man.
Okay, so you got them all featured there on the cover.
Yes.
Very cool.
Mhm. And so here is our Lashley variant, our Peach Momoko variant, the malevolence of this one,
Yeah.
and the Stegman variant.
With Gwenom.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis number 4. This is only going to be a 5-issue storyline, so this is our penultimate issue. And this one, more than I think the last one, the last one, each issue kind of focused on a different character. Feels like this one has a little bit more of a through line, and this one, Daredevil 2099, has to help save the heroes of the 2099 universe from Carnage. So Daredevil, who appeared in the previous one, is going to be coming to the rescue. And then we also have, of course, our really nice Lashley frame variant, this time with that they tease that new Punisher 2099,
Right.
and it does look a little bit different than his traditional look.
And we were also wondering if maybe they hadn't figured out a way to bring Frank Castle back, or you
Yeah,
know,
this kind of almost looks like a cyborg
uh,
with like that lower jaw and stuff. So this
yeah.
might be Frank Castle. And then we also have the Rice connecting variant.
All right, here is the main cover to Hellcat #3. Did you read that issue #2? It was really good. If you like a good mystery mix with superheroes, I would start getting this series, just a mini series. This is our sort of halfway point. But last issue, Patsy got shot a few times.
Ooh.
So time to tune in to see how she's gonna deal with this. Like it looked pretty nasty. So that's what's going on. Here is the cola variant.
I love that one because I love superheroes. Like, what do they have to work through to like, get their suits on and all of that? What's casual for them?
And then here is the Baldian variant for it's the Baldian Spider Verse
Yeah,
variant
yeah.
with a Hellcat spider.
Next up is Star Wars Darth Vader Black, White, and Red #2. Still don't have issue 1 of this. I think it's coming maybe this week or next week, very soon. But this continues the ongoing story. It's going to be in all the issues from Jason Aaron, but also David Prepos, who was the writer of the most recent Savage Avengers, is going to be telling his first story in the Star Wars universe. So they're making a big deal about that. I'm excited to read it. This is our A cover for that. We also have this really nice LaRocca variant. And then we also have High Republic issue #10. This is the final issue of phase 2.
Wow.
So already through phase 2, it is a shorter phase. If it seems like, oh, that's
I was
so fast.
wondering.
Yeah, it was kind of a half phase before we jump into phase 3. And I also thought it was funny, if you look up the solicitations for this issue, most places have the solicitation for issue #10 of the previous series. It starts talking about characters. I'm like, they're not in this. So don't be fooled if you do go looking for those. But no, this is the last issue of this phase.
Somebody had a deadline and they said, copy paste. I'll just say, whoops.
I think they were like looking in the files and saw like High Republic 10, and they're like, oh, yep, drag drop, wrong one. But we also have this really cool Lopez variant.
Here's the main cover to Thor issue #34. This issue, it's going to be Thor versus Doom versus Thanos as they are all vying for an ultimate weapon. So, main cover, here is the Garen Spider-Verse variant.
That helmet is very fun.
And here is the Mateus variant for that issue as well.
A great one this week is Superman #4, introducing the Kryptonite Claw. It's kind of reminiscent of a Doomsday cover, tearing the S shield. But I have sampled a bit of this issue. I didn't read it in full, but I gotta say this is a very cool issue. As now Superman is the head of not LexCorp but SuperCorp. He's continuing to work with Lex Luthor a little bit, but who actually has this kryptonite claw? And if kryptonite makes Superman weak, does it do anything to other supervillains? Does it have any effect on them? You're going to find out in this issue as well. So very, very cool issue. I won't give away there, but there's a really fun surprise final page. This is our A cover for that. We also have the Gabriel Rodriguez variant. We have the Suyan variant.
Creepy.
Very creepy with Bizarro. And we have the Zerdy variant.
I like it.
Yeah. She plays a big part in this current Superman story. But also, there is this one. This is the Lee Bermejo foil variant. So this one's actually going to be $7.99. Just to keep that in mind that one is coming out as well.
And I'll remind everyone that when foil variants are solicited, no one orders them because you can't tell they're foil.
Yeah.
And then when they arrive and they look twice as good as they did on screen, everyone's like, "Hey, why aren't there enough of these?" Okay, so next up it is Flash issue #799. In this issue, Wally and team go up against Granny Goodness, who has kidnapped Wally's newborn. Oh, Granny Goodness.
Not a good granny for
No,
sure.
this is the Mike. This is actually the Mike Perkins variant for that issue, and then here is the Ethan Young variant.
Next up is Batman Superman World's Finest number 15, continuing one of my favorite series currently coming out. This is the rise of Ultra Morpho. So if Metamorpho could only change into elements found in the human body, Ultra Morpho can turn into anything, including kryptonite. So it says he has ways of beating Batman, Superman, and Robin all in one. So how are they going to fight against him? We're going to have to find out. But this is our A cover. And then we also have our Daniel Siempre and Bruno Redondo variant.
Here is the Sweeney Boo variant for Catwoman number 55. So Selena is out of jail, and now she's Catwoman, but Aiko still has her Catwoman outfit too. So it seems like, at least for a little while, there's two Catwomen. The question is, will they get along? Will they agree on how to fight crime? I bet they won't.
No.
They never really get along very well. So again, this is the Sweeney Boo variant. Here's the Dan Panosian variant.
All the meows.
You got, yep, I can hear it all. And then here is the Frank Cho Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month variant for that issue.
Next up, we have Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow, number 2 of 6. We just got issue number 1 this week. Very fun, action-packed issue. But he was Superboy, Connor Kent, was captured by the new team, the Cosmoteers. So what is going to happen? Where are they taking him? You'll have to find out in this issue. This is our A cover. And then we also have, of course, if you notice the shine of the lights in there, this is a DeMio variant.
Here is the Marquez variant to Batgirls number 18. And in this issue, one of the Saints is back and is going to try to enact some vengeance on the Batgirls. And we have another variant to show you. This is the Crystal Kung Asian American Pacific Islander Month variant for that.
And then check out this beautiful Raza variant for Wonder Woman.
Let me get my sunglasses.
I know. I was just like, as I was putting this together, I was thinking like how I would go about making this, and that is very complicated to do. So this is Wonder Woman 799, one issue away from Wonder Woman 800. So in the lead up to 800, Wonder Woman, after all the stuff that's been going on from Lazarus Planet, all that, is going to take some relaxed time in one of the caves on Themyscira. But when she comes out, she is no longer there. She finds herself in fantastical dreams of her allies and enemies. So I feel like this is going to have maybe a little retrospective too of, let's see all of the characters that are in her life. But this is the Raza variant.
Beautiful.
And then we have the Terry and Rachel Dodson variant.
Okay, this is the Earl's variant to No One, issue number 3, the new Massive Verse series by Kyle Higgins. And these are all in the Massive Verse, but they're kind of like their own things
Yeah.
too. When I read the issue number 1, it was very like, this doesn't have to be in the Massive Verse.
Yeah.
Not that makes it worse. To me, the Massive Verse means they're going to put a lot of thought into what other things can relate to this, because they're doing the podcast where
Yeah.
they got like Patton Oswalt pretending to be a reporter in a podcast for each issue of this, which
Yeah.
is amazing. And for that reason, that issue number 1 sold out pretty quickly around here.
Uh-huh.
So you may, if you haven't signed up for this, you might want to do that, because it's getting spread by fans of things outside of just the creators.
Mhm.
You know, everyone who likes Patton Oswalt and such,
Yeah.
sign up for it. So again, this is the Earl's variant. Here is the Englert variant. And they're also taking number 1 back to 3rd print. I mean, how many things go to 3rd print?
Yeah,
Image
especially,
these days?
yeah, indie stuff.
Yeah, so it's definitely, they've done a great job, not just with the marketing. I mean, the issue number 1 was legitimately a really good issue in every way.
So we are getting our second issue of Giant Kokju, number 2 of 3 If you read issue number 1, you know how weird and messed up this comic is. But the story continues as they pull an old mech out of storage. It says from the disco era to fight the giant rampaging monster. So I think we're going to get some of that fight we saw on the cover of number 1 with the giant mech. This is our A cover. Also, this creature has a name. I'm not going to say it. And then this is our Hawthorne variant.
All right, this is the Blucha variant for Ice Cream Man issue number 35. It just keeps going on and
Every
on and
time there's a
on.
cover for this, it doesn't come out consistently. It's not like every month we
Right.
get one. When they do, it's just like, oh, I see why.
It's some of the best covers, of any indie series
Mhm.
overall. Anyhow, this issue it is called the Bestiary of Necessary Monsters.
Necessary
So
monsters.
take from that what you will. But yeah, this is the Blucha variant for Ice Cream Man 35.
Then next up, we have our final issue of Master of the Universe Masterverse, issue 4 of 4. In this final issue, the stories they're going to be telling us is one set in the Netflix CGI universe of that show, as you can see on this cover. And also, we are getting another story using the He Force, which was debuted in a previous Master Universe series where there's a multiverse of He-Man that come together. So that is the two stories in this final issue, and you can see that on our second cover. That's that team. I love the one that's a mix of He-Man and Battle Cat as one character. It's just really fun. This is our OCO variant.
All right, this is the regular cover to The Seasons Have Teeth, issue number 2 of the 4-issue series. Issue number 1 just released last week. In issue number 1, we got to see the monster that was spring. In this issue, the monster that is summer has arrived, and this is the most destructive and chaotic of all the monsters. And our main character, the photographer Andrew, is going to take huge risks to get the perfect picture of this creature that you're not even supposed to be anywhere nearby. So main cover, and here is the FOC reveal variant for that issue.
Summer looks very interesting. Next up is not really a single issue, but this is the Grimm Reaper pack. It's kind of fun for the book Grimm. So they've been doing this with a couple of different books, reprinting the first few issues with new artists doing the covers. So this is going to have issues 1 through 5 in it, with the art on the covers done by Dave Johnson, and you can get those for $39.99.
I do recommend the series.
Yes.
And here is the main cover to Mighty Barbarians issue number 2. This is, of course, from the same writer of Barbaric. So if you are not getting enough barbarians in your diet, just sign up to everything this writer's doing. And here is the Casas homage variant for that issue as well.
And next up is Stranger Things Tales from Hawkins number 2 of 4. We have a few customers who want to get every Stranger Things everything to expand that world. So this is by Jody Hauser, and this issue is going to focus on Murray in a mystery of the missing Hawkins kids. So if you're a Stranger Things fan, you'll want to grab this. This is our A cover. And then we have our Schnoonov variant.
All right, so the first comic from Whatnot Publishing is coming to an end. It is Quested issue number 6, the finale issue. This, of course, is the video game homage variant. And then here is the Hellboy homage variant.
Yeah.
And they tried to make it feel Mignola. They did a good job, but it's not even 1/4 as Mignola as that previous actual Mignola cover we showed earlier.
With this one is there's too many lines. You got to turn that down even more. How can you tell this picture with less lines? It's the Mignola way.
All right, on to the last part of our show. It is other printings and graphic novels.
Starting with, maybe you've seen this book before. This is Iron Man Facsimile number 1. We've had this book come through a couple of times. I always love this one as Iron Man does the super splits.
He's trying. He's seeing the
He
limitations
wants to
of
check
his
how
suit.
stretchy is this iron suit. But these facsimiles sell so well. So if you've never read Iron Man #1, not his first appearance, but his first ongoing title, you'll want to check this one out.
Yep.
And also, this is really interesting. We haven't featured these on the show, but they have been reprinting Batman One Bad Day, the issues, each individual issue, but in hardcover. But you can get this. This is the Batman One Bad Day complete box set that's going to have each issue, but in a hardcover form for $159.99. What's interesting is it's also reprinting Killing Joke, since that's kind of the origin of the One Bad Day idea, in the same format as those to kind of tie them all together. So if you like that series, you didn't get to read it, you love hardcovers, any of those reasons, you'll want to get this.
All right. So they're doing The Complete Incorruptible by Mark Wade. This is going to be $49.99. It's 784 pages. It collects the entire series of Incorruptible, that's issue 1 through 30, and issues 33 and 34 of Irredeemable. So it's just all the stuff. So this, of course, follows the ex-villain Max Damage, who has a change of heart after his nemesis destroys a city, and he decides he's going to be a hero from now on. But it's not that easy to switch, not when you used to be a villain, and that is just what people just want to keep casting you as. So $49.99, you can have the entire series.
And last, I have Deathstroke Inc. Volume 1, King of the Supervillains. This collects Deathstroke Incorporated 1 through 7, plus Batman Urban Legends #6. I love this series. Joshua Williamson, this really led up to Dark Crisis and all of the big events that's been going on recently. So if you haven't read this, I highly recommend it for $19.99.
All right, and that is our show this week. So remember, if you need somewhere to buy your comics, head over to infinityflux.net and you can look at all the ones we just went over. You can sign up for a free subscription. Anything you pre-order, you get 10% off. You can also just order the covers that you want. So again, that's at infinityflux.net. So thank you for watching. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You may have seen we did the second episode of our new show, Comics to Pre-Order in a Flash, where we went over just a small amount of these in like a 5-minute bite. So if you didn't know, we are doing that as well. So go check that out, and we will see you next time.